Danke, Nyabonga. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Disky Chats podcast. Everything about your local football, SA football, all around what's happening, guys. It is a wonderful weekend. A lot of good football was played earlier today. I know, Bafitu, I know. But before we go anyway, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell for more videos moving forward, just to get notified whenever we drop a new episode. But apart from that, whew, man, look, let's just step back before we get into our feelings. I know it's been hard for Mamelodi Sundowns, for the fans and everyone else, man. I know how you feel right now, but let's just step it back and just say, mm, 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 mm. What a brand of football to watch. Look, I'm proud as a South African to be, to talk highly about a club that has continuously played good football. And look, Rhulani, for me as a coach, keep your head up, man. As young as you are actually raising the South African flag up high. Upito has left all the knowledge and expertise in good hands, and he has grown as a coach. Just not there. But let's look at the game, man. Let's just unfold what unfolded. Just so about what unfolded today. And yeah, man. Look, for me, was a good brand of football. Atmosphere was as very good, full capacity for the free tickets, but it's still full capacity otherwise. So for me, also just to congratulate the team, man, how they've planned around this fixture. I think it couldn't have gotten any better. I think if they keep on planning this well, it will eventually happen for them. But I'm guessing, is it what the football gods or Ramadluz Wagapito? That you remember he still was talking about a PSG situation. So he's the only one who has a formula for this thing. But we can't deny. For me, we can't just deny the fact that Sundowns is one of the, if not the best sides or the best team this season in CAF. Looking at the brand of football, the ease that they've actually gone through in regards to from group stages to knockout stages and all those things. But I guess a fair point as well, when you look at things, it's about having to admit that maybe experience did count against them this time, because young players can only carry you so far, young and new. Because sometimes you'd say Umbule and Mokwena are not exactly um, young players per se, because they've been around for a while, but in regards to their experience, that's where maybe it would have mattered the most. Probably they would have missed Charlie. Charlie has been good for them at times. So those one of the things that maybe could have counted against them. But look, I think we have to hand it to them, man. These guys make it worth your while to go to the stadium and watch such a beautiful brand of football. Philosophy is effortless. The way they combine play. And also, if I were to look at the match, let's start with the lineup itself. So, for me, obviously, we knew that Marcus Allende and Uneo Mayemo was not going to be part of the team because they got red cards in the first leg. So, Moe Berger, the game, you obviously would have expected. We just were interested to know who would replace them, because I was expecting maybe Bongane Zungu to be introduced, but him being a DM as well, I think Mokwena would have been an option there. The one mistake maybe they could look into is putting Mvala. Look, we'll get to that. Let's just focus on that because we'll talk about that a bit later. So look at the lineup. It was refreshing to see Umkulisi being introduced again. He's an incredible player. I also was expected Domingo to be maybe a replacement for Uneo Maema, but Mkulisi otherwise is still a good replacement. So this is what is wonderful about having such a team. where you have depth, and even if you have injuries, one player or two is off form, suspensions, you have a right replacement that could actually come in, fill in, come into the team, and it didn't seem like a different team from the last one. They were detecting play. They were more of attacking side, ball possession, ball rotation, ball retention. Everything was very, very effortless for their side. They actually mentally they were ready. Psychologically, I felt Sundowns was going to win it. You know, maybe with a comfortable 2-0, because from the first half, obviously, and they are very patient. These guys are very patient when it comes to how they're willing to wait, because obviously mentally wise, look, you're playing against a big side. With that, Casablanca is not just an ordinary side. They're in the same conversations as Abu Al Ahly, Esperance. These guys are seasoned campaigners. Each and every season, they play to compete. CAF quarterfinal semis to win it. So you are playing against your Bayerns, your Real Madrids of CAF. So it's Sundowns, it's like your City, your Man City, who has played good football in the last couple of years. And they've actually gained enough respect in Africa for them to be taken seriously, not to be taken lightly. But if I were to come in there, looking at the lineup as well, I think we can all agree that maybe Mvala could have been a DM. I think it's a matter of as well of having to create more positions, which I don't understand. But maybe sometimes there is such a thing as over analysis, because now when you look at it, um, you have Utiruk, you have Ulibusa, Pitu, who's been brought in very for this tournament per se. We can agree. So maybe they could have looked into that, because defensively they don't really look like they were struggling. But Umvala's abilities are more of an attacking side. So his makeup is not really designed for a defender. But to be fair, they didn't really look like they were struggling in terms of their defensive shape. So I think when it's working, like when I was talking about Pirates using Umako as a right back, if it's working for them, there is no issue there. But here the thing is, the stakes are higher. I mean, that was an $18 million or 18 million rand mistake. Now, coming to the tactics, spot on, because we've learned a lot from what Sundowns brings to the table. We understand that the Sundowns, they know how to shuffle the table very well, and they have enough experience to come in. Like for example, Tapelo Morena was introduced Beradlala Pambil in the top three, or in the front with the front three, instead of him having to play his normal position. And his experience counts a lot, because he's actually bailed them at crucial times. So that's where, for me, you think that in a semi-final where they've campaigned themselves very well. I think where they could have lost it is in the first leg, where man, I think that game, they were very unfortunate, to be honest, but mentally, I think how the North Africans have positioned themselves is very good. Mentally, they're very strong, and they'll psych you out. So probably that mistake by Umayema, maybe they can look back and say that mistake was very costly. Ayende as well, last minute. So losing key players in a very, very big fixture like that can have implications where, tactically, if you are matched, the players that you're bringing in may either break or make your game setup, your planning, and all these things that come to play. Because now we can tell that the two players who have been very, very instrumental, if you remember, against big games, Ayende was there, was a source of inspiration. Umayema assists, big game temperament as well. So I know they overlooked this, but I don't want to say that that's where their shortfalls could have been, because they still have enough players to at least wrap up this game very easily. Because I mean, like in the last 10 minutes, I mean, we all were convinced with that Sundowns start like they're going to the final, and now coming to the mistake, because one thing that it's good, we can all agree on. I think Sundowns can lift their heads high, that these guys know how to come back. They know how to respond very quickly. Because after that equalizer, for any player or any South African players, if they're playing in such a tournament, we would have seen panic. They would have seen rush passes, nothing. But they stuck to their game. You know, if a lot of clubs can learn a lot from the Sundowns, where they are very composed, whether they are behind or losing at that time, they're very composed, and at the same time, they know when to push, when to pull. They know when to click at the right time. Because that goal that they scored came at the right time, because they stuck to their guns, their own philosophy, and playing the ball right in the right areas and putting it in and giving it to the right players. And Peter Shadileles, at times, I've always said that when it comes to him, that guy, he knows how to sniff goals. So they kept on pushing the envelope. And when you're watching that game, those are the kind of games that you want to see. Those are the kind of moments that we want to live as fans of the game, as followers of the game, to be able to see such a game at the highest level on the continent. And Sundowns, angiyangiyifothe kakhulu. I don't want to lie. We can mention a lot of things. Maybe Rhulani is a young coach. Maybe the changes were not really necessary. They could have kept it as is, because they were not losing, but they were making many draws. You can go back and say so many things. It's probably this player, how Charlie, and all these things. But um, to be fair on them, they needed to make decisions that were best fitting the aspirations and what they believed was right at the time. Because after losing to Pirates 3-0, obviously the table needed to be shifted to some extent, because some of us were complaining about coaching. So when you look at the game, far and gone, I don't think they should look too much into the technical side of things, because they were spot on. I think the planning was good for you with that, because they didn't really look like a team that had enough questions to trouble Sundowns that much. But knowing their pedigree, knowing that they mentally and psychologically, they are able to push all the way. Sundowns, maybe that's where their frailties were, because when you're playing such a good brand of football, you are always susceptible to conceding. And like I said, with new players coming into such a big team, it's very, very hard to say that you can rely on them each and every game, because they would make mistakes in such crucial moments, starting with the red card in the first leg. And this one, it was a defensive header. Patul should have come there a bit earlier. Ronald Williams was sleepy. And remember, and that game, or that goal rather, it came out of nowhere. So that's the kind of quality you are playing against, where they're able to create tight situations. Just one chance changes the whole complexion of the game. So for them, the first leg didn't really favor them that much, having to play the second leg on a 0-0 aggregate. Because coming here, they knew getting one goal changes the whole complexion of the game. Now, the one thing that we didn't see, like I said before, is panic from the guys. They kept the shape, maybe, and even the changes he brought in are the same changes, because this is what I love about the Sundowns when you're watching them. They're very consistent, and they're very are reactive, and because maybe they saw where they needed to beef up, possibly coming in with bringing Unasir. These are the players that they brought in, because they knew Cassius as well came in and all these things. For me, I think it was just luck was not on their side this time. I don't think it's because of having a young coach and new players and all these things. Yeah, we can mention all these things. It's fine to talk about them. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at how this team is set up, the team, how they've played, the moment in the game itself, we can only say so much. But at the end of the day, we know results are results. And they are knocked out, unfortunately. They're not going to the final. They have to try again next year. And for them, maybe it's going to be another story of saying that is it really what must they do now? Because I think the one thing that they can take, maybe I know Rhulani is always writing notes, or the technical team, they need to start planning what do we do when you get to quarters, semis, and challenging the final, because maybe that's been their shortfall. The planning around the knockout stage is important, and that's where Beats was very instrumental in that sense. And but they were part of the team, they're part of the technical team. So I would leave it there for me when it comes to Sundowns. For them, hard luck and congratulations at the same time. Looking at how they've played so far in the league and in CAF, they've campaigned themselves well. We saw that. Look, there were glimpses of them that they could have actually gone all the way, but you have to play the fixture and the what is it, this away goal whole thing. Look, it's how it is, and it's the rules of the game. And at this time around, it didn't favor us, or didn't favor Sundowns, having them to be a South African team. So that's all I can say about that game. But for all the Sundowns fans, I would say to you, this next year it's going still sometimes still going to win the league. I think next year they are still going to challenge for ECAF, and we can still move these guys because this is a beautiful team to watch. I don't think any team is going to be able to live up to the standards of Sundowns for the next maybe 3 to 5 years or so. Still, they're still going to dominate, and I'll leave it at there. So, Hadima Sandawana, Kabuyelu, and all that. So, from my side, that's all I have for you for this week. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, share with your friends, and also click on the subscription and the notification bell. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my also go to my social media. You can look at the videos that we post on a weekly basis. Thank you so much, guys. Keep supporting, and yeah, that's it for me. Bye.